Good morning. Getting ready to start the day with a phone Skype meeting to go over stuff. And, nothing to eat because we're still fasting. And actually, I haven't even had anything to drink yet, so I'll need to fix that here in the next couple of minutes before that meeting gets started. Make your day what you want to make your day to be. Let's get it going.
So from my perch here, working from home, got some nice windows next to me. Looking out on the yard. And every now and again, I'm reminded that it is now mid-September. We're heading towards fall, because something will catch my eye as a leaf flutters down from the big ash tree. Boss is buying lunch today. Did I say that already? Let's go. All right, here we are. The next destination. My boss is buying lunch today, so we've got some colleagues in from out of town, and he just wanted us to have a little together time. And I like a free lunch, don't you? Are the Stones big blockers on YouTube? This is a fantastic song. If you don't think so, we can't be friends. Man, what is that thing? It's like somebody's getting a pool. One piece. Oh, well, while it seems I'm going to be stuck behind whatever that huge one-piece pool or whatever is, except for they made the light that I didn't just make. And they're not going slowly, too. They're driving fast with that thing on that trailer. It's as good as any time to chat. So I was just having dinner with my wife and my youngest. And I'm on my way to choir. It's Thursday. It's choir night. And Ben, my kid, decided that he was going to ask about gloat about the Bengals game against the Seahawks, and because they won, and I told him that they were going to lose because they were winning, and the Seahawks won. He likes the Seahawks, and so I just have one question that I still need somebody to explain to me. It's a very simple question. If Andy Dalton actually fumbled the football in the last play of the game, he got hit when there was 9 seconds left. They did this, they showed it on TV. They put the clock up there and showed it on the slow motion replay and watched it click down to about between 2 and 3 seconds when the ball got touched by a Seahawk player. If it's a fumble, isn't that when the clock stops? So they affirmed that it was a fumble, but then they put 9 seconds on the clock. So am I just wrong about that? I mean, I would think if it's a incomplete pass, he got hit at 9 seconds, and so that seems to be, that's when, if the call was incomplete pass, then the Bengals get the ball back with 9 seconds on the clock. But if it's a fumble, the Seahawks get the ball with like 2.3 whatever seconds on the clock. I guess I don't know anything. If you know, tell me in the comments. Let's talk about something else too while I have you as a captive audience. This is a dad tip for living. It's a Dave tip for living. So, we'll try to stick with the brand of Cincinnati Dad. It's about getting along with people. It's about what you might want to call likability, even. It came up actually once in a job search training. I had gotten let go from a company, and they actually paid for some help with finding a new job. People there were great. One of the coaches there later I worked with, she was great. I actually got in touch with her a couple years later to say, hey, are you guys hiring? Because that process I was really interested in the process when we had it. And she talked about just kind of employability, and part of it's a life skill, right? You want to be able to talk. You want to be able to engage in conversation. Now, hers was kind of aimed, I think, at females who feel out of sync with the workplace sometimes, especially if you're in an industry where there's a lot of guys. And she's like, pick up the paper, just read through the headlines, glance at the sports section, so that when these guys are talking about stuff, you have a clue. You can participate, even at a very, very surface level. At least you can participate in the conversation. So, my previous question about the Bengals. Now, I've been a fan. I'm a fan, but I'm not a diehard, and I'm not a sporto. I didn't play football for high school or anything like that. I mean, just that wasn't my thing. But I pay attention enough to I want to know what's going on, right? My kids are big into they're into the NBA, and I'm not interested in the NBA. But I know who the players are. I mean, I have some idea about what's going on, so that when they want to talk about it, even though they know, when we joke that, well, you're losing me, guys, just, so there were some video games that they used to play that I'm like, I'm not interested. This is not a conversation that talk about it amongst yourselves, talk about it with your friends. But as far as a father-son thing, this is not something upon which we're going to bond and relate, because I don't play that game. And the NBA is kind of the same thing too, but we will, so when they start talking about it, we get the look, and sometimes my wife chimes in too, because it is a family joke. But I know stuff. Pay attention. That's how you are interesting to people. So that part of the advice is just be interesting. Maybe I'll save it for another video, because I don't want this to get too long. But that whole idea of likability and what it means to be likable, what it means to have charisma, it's a gift that some people have. But the gift, I think, comes from, in addition to their genetics and their upbringing, it's a function of their environment. And sometimes it's a function of their environment because they are, they're introverts that had to adapt, that had to adjust. I'm the youngest of 5. So if I wanted to get a second piece of chicken, you kind of had to assert yourself at the dining room table. As the youngest of 5, if you wanted to be heard, you had to assert yourself. And one of the ways you do that is to be funny, is to be likable. That's how you get yourself heard. But there's other ways too, right? And I'm sure my siblings would have plenty to say about that. There are many variations on this topic and on this same advice that I'm going to give you right now. If you want to be liked, you have to like people. You actually have to enjoy the company of other human beings. It's, in many ways, as simple as that. Now, like losing weight, simple does not equate to easy. But the answer is simple. You have to truly like other human beings. That doesn't seem so hard, does it? You have to be interested in other people. So, you've heard the expressions about get people to talk, right? Be a listener, right? People will say that you're a great conversationalist if you can get them to talk, not so much talking. That's one of the things that's kind of weird here for the channel, is it's just me talking. But myself when I'm in the car. That is the opposite of what I'm talking about, right? Ask questions. Get people to talk. It's a skill that you can practice by learning the right questions to ask. Then, and here is the most important thing, I'm going to lean in, even though I'm driving down the road and there's other people around, I'm going to lean in. Listen to the answers. I'm going to say that again. Ask people questions to get them to talk, and then listen to the answers. What does that do? Well, then you get to know the person. Then also, the person you're talking to and the person you're listening to will appreciate that you listen, because they're used to talking to people that don't listen to them. They're used to talking to people who are just being polite, or they're distracted, or they're listening to respond, because it's one of those situations where it's not an argument necessarily, but it's a discussion. And don't be that person. Be the person that listens to learn, that listens. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Sorry, I can't look at you directly because I am still driving. Right? That's Stephen Covey. That's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. You will rapidly increase the number of people who like being around you if you seek first to understand, to listen, right? And wait your turn. You got stuff to say. And to be honest, the people are probably going to be interested in what you have to say too. As just as you then have listened to them and learned about them, they'll do the same thing. But don't assume that it's their responsibility to listen to you first. Right? You'll get there. My second tip for being likable is to like yourself. Now, yeah, self-deprecating humor is a wonderful thing. It puts people at ease. But you have to have that kind of internal self-respect, self-like, and self-love, because that shows. And if you don't like yourself, nobody else is going to like you either, no matter what tricks you try to pull on. So you got to like yourself. So figure that one out. At the root of this, I guess, is you have to care. To listen to somebody, to truly listen to them, to let them talk and listen to learn, you have to care. If you don't care, then this isn't going to work. Pretend to care for a while. If you don't care, if you really don't care, right? You just don't care about your coworker's day. You don't care about their kids. You don't care about their pet. You don't care about their opinions on the boss. I get that. It's not a requirement that you care. But in the context of being liked, being a likable person, being the type of person that people want to be around, people want to be around people that care. So fake it until you make it. Fake it until you become it. I'll put a card in for that wonderful TED Talk that you must watch until the very end, because that's the meat of it. And it's been watched a gazillion times. If that's new to you, the Amy Cuddy TED Talk, Fake It Until You Become It. I hope that it inspires you. So I'll put that up there. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to go to choir and practice, and I'm probably done talking into my phone for the rest of the evening. So like, subscribe, wherever it is, and do all that wonderful stuff. Hey, make your day what you want your day to be, right? Make it. Smile at yourself, right? Learn to appreciate who you are, for however you are, right? You are you, and you got bumps and warts, and you're not happy all the time, whatever. But to spread that out there, the thing that you want to spread is the good stuff, right? So you have to learn to appreciate the good stuff. inside of you so that you can appreciate the good stuff outside of you. I like that one. I'm going to put that one on a t-shirt.